We've spent 4 videos learning to see manipulation, dark charisma, the 6 triggers, gaslighting, the blind spots inside intelligence itself. And maybe you've noticed something uncomfortable along the way. Seeing it everywhere can make you a little paranoid, a little closed, a little cold toward people who probably mean you no harm at all. So this last video is the antidote to that. Because real protection was never about building higher walls or trusting less. The people who are genuinely hard to manipulate aren't the most suspicious people. They're the clearest. And clarity, it turns out, is something you can actually build. Here's how. Every single technique in this series needed a way in an emotional door. Fear, pride, guilt, loneliness, the hunger to be approved of. You can't brick up those doors. They're part of being human. But you can learn exactly where yours are. Here's the strange power of that. A trigger you've named in advance loses most of its grip. When you already know I get wobbly around approval or I make bad calls when I feel rushed, then the next time someone leans on that exact spot, a little alarm goes off. Oh, this is my thing. That recognition, that half second of, oh, this is the door they're knocking on. It's the difference between reacting and choosing. You don't have to be invulnerable. You just have to know your own map. Think back to those 6 triggers. Scarcity, urgency, false consensus, borrowed authority. Every one of them runs on the same fuel, speed. They are engineered to get your yes before the thoughtful part of you wakes up and weighs in. Which means the single most powerful defense you have is almost laughably simple. Time, a pause, 10 seconds, 1 breath, the space to say, let me think about it and get back to you. And you do not owe anyone an explanation for taking that space. That instinct to justify the pause, to not seem difficult, that's the trigger talking too. Real urgency is rare. Manufactured urgency is everywhere. And the simple act of refusing to be rushed disarms more manipulation than any clever comeback ever could. Here's a move that quietly runs through almost all manipulation. They blur who is asking with what is being asked. They make it feel like questioning the request is questioning them. That a hesitation is an insult. That saying no to this is the same as saying you don't care about us. So here's the discipline that cuts through it, and it's a simple test. Imagine a complete stranger made this exact request, with none of the relationship attached. Does it still make sense on its own? If yes, great, it stands. But if it only makes sense because of who's asking and how you feel about them, that gap is information. You are allowed to love someone and still evaluate their request clearly. Those two things were never in conflict. Manipulation just needs you to believe they are. Skilled manipulators are almost always wonderful explainers. Every broken promise has a reason. Every inconsistency has context. Every red flag comes wrapped in a story so reasonable you feel unfair for even noticing it. And taken one at a time, each explanation really might be fine. That's the trap, evaluating each incident alone. So zoom out. Stop asking, is this particular excuse believable? And start asking what has actually happened over months. Words are infinite and free. Behavior over time is the only data that can't be talked away. This isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone. It's just about remembering that what someone repeatedly does is who they are, far more than what they repeatedly say. Trust the pattern. The pattern doesn't lie even when the person is very good at it. And here's the one that matters most, the one that quietly underpins everything else. Almost every sustained manipulation, every controlling dynamic, depends on one condition above all: isolation. Not always locking you away. Often it's subtler, slowly becoming the only voice you really trust, the only one whose version of reality you take seriously. So the strongest protection you can build isn't a skill at all. It's people. 2 or 3 relationships outside any single situation. People who know you well and will tell you the truth even when it's awkward. When you can run your reality past someone who has no stake in a particular outcome, no manipulation survives contact for long. Connection, in the end, isn't just where the warmth is. It's where the clarity is too. So that's the whole series. Know your own doors. Take the pause. Separate the ask from the person. Trust the pattern over the story. And keep real people in your life. Notice that not one of these asked you to become harder, colder, or more suspicious. They asked you to become clearer. Because the goal was never to trust less, it was to trust well. Informed trust, given on purpose to people who've earned it, that's not naive. That's the strongest position there is. Thanks for watching this whole series. If it changed how you see things, share it with someone. Subscribe for more honest psychology. This is Mind.